Good morning, and we are live. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. Trump has started another idiotic trade war that we cannot win. Let's dig into it. Let's get to work. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. It is hot as hell out here. We've had, Jesus, a solid over a week of 100-degree plus temperatures. It was 105 yesterday here up in East Texas, and I got to tell you, it is something, man. If we don't get some rain soon, if we don't get some relief, some cooler temperatures, man, I whew, I don't know. I am just, I'm begging my grass not to die. Trees are going into shock. Yeah, it's been bad here. It's been bad, but we've got coffee. We got each other. Um, so we're going to make it. We're going to get through this. So I want to start your show. I like to provide a lens to look through in these shows. I like to have something for you to focus on to set the mood as we talk about things. And I want you to be happy today. I do. It's Sunday. I want you to be happy. So let's start with Spider-Man beating the shit out of Jake Lang for holding a blatantly, horribly, disgustingly racist sign. Yeah, that really happened. You got to forgive. There's no audio in this because whoever created this video and shared it online dubbed over the orchestral um, um, Marvel Studios music over the top of it, and that will get this taken down. So we're not going to do that. But you can see the video, and it is incredibly enjoyable. Um, Pay attention to what the sign says that idiot Jake Lang is holding. He's the guy with the mohawk. So, yeah, I want you to be mindful if you ever end up in a altercation or a situation with these people, how many of their bigoted white supremacist followers are spraying bear spray everywhere. I want you to pay attention to this too. Um, if this isn't the softest, kindest takedown I have seen in a long time, you can tell where the police fall on this altercation by just how gingerly and kindly they take Spider-Man into custody. Oh my God. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Tell me that is not the definition of where we are going over the next couple of years. Spider-Man beating the shit out of Jake Lang for holding a blatantly horrible racist side. Jake Lang is nobody. He's nobody. He is a white supremacist, racist piece of crap YouTuber that goes around getting attention for himself. Um, and bigots send him money for doing it. Yeah. So that's the way we're going to start our day. Spider-Man beating the shit out of Jake Lang. Got up this morning, first thing, checked the obituaries. Disappointed again. Disappointed again. But like I said, we've got a good cup of coffee, and when we got that, we can do anything. Like I said, I always say, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. I don't need the commentary, thank you. Forgive me. Got a co-host today. She doesn't like Jake Lang either. Forgive me. You're gonna have to put up with that during the show today. But yeah, we got a few things going on. Trump has started a trade war. We're gonna have to deal with that. We are. We're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm gonna give it. We're gonna get into some details of what's going on with that. But before we do, I just want to expound on something. Um, the importation of beef has been all over. It's going viral all over social media. It's been in the news. Um, Trump has okayed the importation of 300,000 metric tons of ground beef without tariff. We've got some clarification on that because my first thought was, um, who has 300,000 metric tons of beef laying around? If you know anything about the beef industry, that it comes from cows, man. I mean, who's got the cows? Who's got the cattle sitting around that wasn't getting slaughtered to provide that extra beef? And I know a lot of people were talking about it being the horses and this, that, and the other. Turnaround's too short. I mean, it's too short. It would take too long to ship the horses where they're going, process them, and ship the beef back. Turnaround is too short on that. It's not the horses. It's not. It's not horse meat. They test it. If it was horse meat, it would be illegal. They test it. So I started taking a look. Does anybody have the excess beef to sell us? No, they don't. No, they don't. Everybody's herds, the reason beef is so high is everybody's herds are thinning out and nobody's been able to rebuild them. That includes Brazil. That includes Argentina. I'm seeing a lot of. I checked. Argentina doesn't have it. Mexico doesn't have the excess herds. Brazil doesn't have the excess herds. None of that. None of that. So where was it going to come from? Well, I started doing a little digging on it, and it's dumber than you think. It is dumber than you think, and it's worse for our bingo, and it's worse for our ranchers than we first thought. There is not 300,000 metric tons of excess beef that's going to enter our market. It's not. And the problem is supply and demand. That's why beef is so high. The problem is supply and demand. The herds aren't there. The inputs that the ranchers have to pay, diesel. I mean, everything from the pharmaceuticals that they have to give the cows to keep them healthy, to the feed, everything is high right now. So when you start looking for, I had a good friend of mine, a guy by the name of Sparkman, used to use the expression, find the hole in the bucket. When you got a financial situation, you got to find the hole in the bucket. A lot of folks say, just made the assumption it's the ranchers. They're just making bank. Well, they did for a while. Vapor beef. I love that. I love you people so much. I do. They did for a while. They did. Beef was so high, they sold off their herds. And they did. They pocketed some pretty decent profits there for just a little bit. That wasn't sustainable because their costs went up as much as your costs went up. So what are we talking about here? You know, these ranchers are now in the situation where, yeah, it was gravy for a little bit, but it hasn't been for a long time because their costs have gone up astronomically high. We've talked about this on the show before. You know, a mama cow with a calf, these things are selling for like $3,000. You can't make a profit off a cow that's that expensive. You just can't. I mean, they're desperate to try to rebuild their herds to the point now that they're actually starting at these astronomical prices to lose money. So it's not the ranchers. And I get it. The response I got all over social media to the video I put out about this happening um, was that let me pause for a second. No, it's not fake beef. It's not. It's non-existent beef. Uh, Stick with me. I'll get there. Um, but yeah, I mean, we talked about in the show. We talked about the costs and yada yada yada. Here's the thing. He didn't magically find 300,000 tons of ground beef in the supply chain to bring your beef prices down. He didn't. It doesn't exist. And nobody can produce it for you. These, like I was saying, these ranchers are operating, many of them, at a loss right now just to try to rebuild their herd so that they've got a business in the future. What he did was he eliminated the tariffs. We had trade agreements with Brazil. We had trade agreements with Argentina. We had trade agreements with we get a lot of beef from Australia. We get a lot of beef from New Zealand. We get a lot of beef. There are a lot of places we buy 4.5 billion pounds of beef every year from outside the United States. There are trade agreements in place to dictate, to regulate that market so that our ranchers can make a living. That's gone because Trump is in trouble. He's eliminated the tariffs that were in place. He's basically capitulated on those trade agreements. So those countries that have tariffs on our beef and our goods coming into their country still have them. Ours just went to zero. That's I'm anti-tariff. I'm a free trade guy. I am, for the most part. Sometimes free trade just cannot work. The economies are too disparate. They're too different. So you have to have, these trade agreements. You've got to have smart people negotiating them. This was the worst way to react to this. He just eliminated the tariffs on beef that was already coming in, a tightened food supply. Just because he's in trouble, he's going to lower the price of beef, by pennies. By pennies. This isn't going to do really anything, folks. That's the worst part about this is it's such a small. We import 4.5 billion pounds of beef every year. This is not going to be a large dent in the cost because you're talking about just a tariff. It's just a fee. So what we've got is now ranchers that are, they're in a pickle of their own development because, again, one of the biggest responses I saw on social media was they voted for this. The leopards are eating their face. Congratulations. Understand that sentiment. Agree with it 100%. But I always fall back to, no matter how stupid they vote, and not all of them do. They're not a monolithic block. Um, we need food. 1.4 billion pounds of food every day. We've got to have it every single day. So yeah, they voted stupidly. They voted out of bigotry. They voted against their own self-interest. They voted, yeah, all of that. True, true. They're having the day they voted for. True, 100%. But that doesn't change the market conditions and what Trump just did. And I just want to clarify this. Beef producers are not rolling in profits right now. Their costs are just as high as yours. They're seeing the same inflation. They're seeing the same business choking input increases that everyone else is. Same with farmers, same with everybody. It just is what it is because of Trump's idiotic trade wars. Now, Trump has undercut them. He's eliminated those trade agreements on 300,000 tons of beef that are going to enter our market in the future. Those same farmers and ranchers, they're not going to survive that. They're not. They're not. A pickup truck in the United States, because of, again, stupid policy, um, is $65 to $100,000. Nowhere else in the world does it cost that much to get a tow vehicle. Nowhere. Nowhere. The United States pickup truck market is pure idiocy. 1 second. Okay. Just checking. She was way too close to my guitar. Um, Nowhere else in the world is it that, and that's just vehicles. Now, on the other end of it, our energy prices have always been cheaper than the rest of the world. Just ask we've got people in the audience right now from various parts of the world. Ask them how much more expensive fuel is where they live. In many places, they're paying for a pint of fuel what we're paying for a gallon of fuel, whether it's diesel or gasoline or, as they call it, petrol. I mean, this is the reality of it. This was the dumbest thing he could possibly do to try to solve this problem. Because again, this problem is going to require a long-term fix. This was just something to try to get him through. Yeah, leaders, pardon me. Did I say pint? Leaders, thank you. I love you people so much for being on top of things. I really do. This is the best community anywhere. I wish I could just watch the show. I mean, folks, this is just the dumbest way to deal with the situation. It is. It just is. The only answer for our beef prices is to significantly increase the amount of beef that's available. And the only way to do that is going to be investment in our universities, investment in our ranchers, to try to bring their input costs down a little bit. You can't rush Mother Nature. And yeah, lab cultivated meat is going to be an answer. It is. Lab cultivated meat is going to be an answer. You know where I stand on that. I don't have the problems with it. I'm not squeamish about it. I know that I know that cattle is a living laboratory. It is. It's all chemical processes. It mechanically and chemically breaks down grass and grain and converts it to muscle tissue. It's a walking laboratory. It is. I kind of prefer my laboratories to be clean. So yeah, I don't have the problem with lab cultivated meat that a lot of people do. But yeah, again, We're stuck in this situation with the same freaking narrative. We have a problem that requires long-term solutions. We didn't get into this mess over well, we did get into this mess overnight with Trump's idiotic trade wars, but it's not something that's gonna be fixed overnight, and doing this is exactly the wrong thing that you wanna do because it's going to drive bottom line, it's going to drive ranchers out of business. And that may be good for Vice President Vance and his acre finder investment, buying up people's distressed farms and ranches, but it is not a good thing for the United States of America long term, you know, beef outlook. It's just not. So yeah, again, it matters. Elections matter, and electing smart people matters. I mean, it is what it is, folks. This is just going to bring more pain, and it's dumb. It's dumb. It's a political attempt to get through the midterms by trying to put out a fire. It's just dumb. It's dumb. Oh man, that coffee is hitting this morning. And I wish I could tell you that was the only dumb thing that they've done recently, but here we go. Here we go. We talked about what was going on with the Abraham Lincoln. We got some more follow up there and more fallout from that. We talked about that it's actually systemic. It's fleet wide. It's not just the Abraham Lincoln. It's not just this is a real problem, folks, and it has come home to bite the Trump administration in the ass. Now, what you would normally see in that situation is them attack the problem. That is not what they do. They're incompetent. They're stupid. It's the same thing with COVID. They couldn't deal with the problem. So what did they do? They attacked the media. They attacked the press. They tried to control the information. They tried to create a fake narrative. That's exactly what they're trying to do with our busted ass military right now. They fired the leadership over at Stars and Stripes. Little background information. Stars and Stripes is, although it's owned about 60 to 65% of it is paid for via our military budget. It is an independent publication. That's why they can run. They do not report. There's actually been several acts of Congress that have ensured that. You, re, you know, Administrations before have tried to influence Stars and Stripes, leading to Congress acting. It happened in the 90s. Congress shored up Stars and Stripes independence. They do not report to the chain of command. They do not. They are a publication like any other news publication, except their funding, which gives the military a certain amount of input, and it does give them a bit of a bias. They are a pro-military publication, but they don't pull punches in serious issues, and they ran this story. And you can tell by the headline. I mean, they're not trying to be ultra aggressive about this. USS Abraham Lincoln families press Navy leaders over sailors' mental health. It was an article about the suicides and suicide attempts. It was by no means the cutting edge of journalism on the issue. It was not. But for Stars and Stripes to acknowledge it made it undeniable. So, of course, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump fired the leadership over at Stars and Stripes instead of attacking the problem and trying to fix the problem. We still have a busted Navy. We still have logistics problems in our military. We do. For all the money we have spent on our military, the boats that make up the logistics of it are old, very old in many cases. It is our Achilles heel. We can kill very well. Our weapon systems are supreme. You know, our ability to target assets or targets or it is nothing short of amazing what our weapon systems can do. I played a video in a prior show of one of our armored personnel carriers taking out a T-90 Russian tank. An armored personnel carrier taking out a main battle tank. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, I'm not going to diminish it in any way. Our shit is good, man. But what does it matter if you can't, deliver MOGAS or food to the people that are operating it? Armies still run on their stomachs. They do. And this has just been an eye opener for the entire world that we are not invincible. And yes, they've done one stupid thing after another regarding the military. Yeah, Trump wants to build a Trump battleship. He has not given up on that, by the way. We have actually spent millions of dollars pursuing this concept. But yeah, this is where we're at. We have this problem. It needs to be addressed. Yeah, trying to bring back steam catapults. I mean, the concepts for steam catapults were like the 1920s and 30s. The first practical tests of them were, late 30s. They were the first functioning practical applications of them were in the 40s. He wants to take our aircraft carriers back to that technology. Just one stupid decision after another. But this is just top-notch stupid. Let me give you a little bit more detail on what we're talking about. This is who got fired. The guy in the middle is Eric Slavian. He is the editor at Stars and Stripes. The guy on the left is the long-term publisher, Mark Lederer. He has been the publisher at Stars and Stripes for 30 years or so. And on the right, you've got Laura Court. She is our Middle East reporter for Stars and Stripes. They're gone. They're all fired. They're all fired. It was done by this guy. This is the problem. This is Captain William Urban. Tell me you didn't know what he looked like before you saw him. Yeah. Here's the problem, folks. It's deeper than just the fascist impulse to control information. It's deeper than that. It is. See, Stars and Stripes is it's it's dying. It is. It's dying. Most people think Stars and Stripes is just a mouthpiece of the government. They don't realize that it has any real independence to it. Um, and your young folks that make up our military really don't um, have any fealty to Stars and Stripes. They get their information on their phone. They get their information from independent news sources. They they're not like the old folks running the military. The guy, the guy's like Captain William Irvin, that's a Fox News guy. That's not where they're getting their information. They're not. And Stars and Stripes has been slow to adjust to this. It's not like it was, where Stars and Stripes was the news source for the military in World War II. That's not the case anymore. So the line that they're spewing is that they're going to try to fix this. They're going to try to make Stars and Stripes better. The problem is they're doing just the opposite. Again, the policy is 100% the opposite of what you want in this situation. Um, Captain William Irvin he's a Navy press guy. He's a Navy talking head. That's what he does for a living. The spin masters that come out for the military and they absolutely will lie for the military. They absolutely will. They're actually making, by putting him in charge, putting him in place, they're actually making Stars and Stripes that thing that everybody assumed it was, even though it wasn't. They're turning it into a Pentagon mouthpiece, which is going to further diminish what it is. The only other option to it that you're going to see them dig into is they're going to turn it into Fox News Light. But that's what they're going to do. They're going to turn it into a propaganda rag. Folks, I'm not trying to brag here, but right now, I reach more people than Stars and Stripes. Yeah. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, they really are down to a circulation that is laughable. I mean, it is laughable. Could something be done? Sure. But again, this is 100% the wrong direction. The problem that Stars and Stripes faces is that nobody thinks that it's relevant. People assume it's a mouthpiece for the government. So they don't look to it for news. They think it's propaganda, even though we've worked for decades to make it not be that. And its independence shows in the fact that it would actually address, against pressure from Pete Hegseth and the Pentagon, would address the issues of military families and their concerns over suicides on the Abraham Lincoln. That they would buck the authority and actually run that article. It proves that they were not just a mouthpiece. Now they are. You've taken a Navy talking head whose job it is to fucking lie to your face on behalf of the military. You know that guy we all hate when a story finally comes to light due to journalism and we find out that the military's been lying to us all along? Yeah, this is the fucking liar that lies to us. And he's now running Stars and Stripes. And he's doing it because, well, Pete Hegseth, he's a Fox News talking head. He's used to just lying to people. to manipulate them, to get them to do what they want. That's what he wants out of Fox News. Or pardon me, he wants out of Stars and Stripes. He wants to turn it into Fox News. And his Fox News producer wife, who is a problem, folks. Jennifer Hegseth is a problem. You've got senior members of our military that are through backdoor channels screaming about this. She attends meetings she has no business being in. Pete Hegseth is too weak of a man to stand in a room with the generals and the admirals that run our military, so he brings his wife to hold his hand. While we are in a war with Iran, Pete Hegseth has to bring his wife to every major meeting because he is so weak. She is privy to information. She is a national security risk. She is privy to information she has no business hearing because Pete Hegseth is so fucking weak that he cannot stand up in a room of admirals and generals on his own. And her being a Fox News producer is a massive force behind them taking Stars and Stripes and turning it into a print publication version of Fox News, which is where it's going. Despite Congress acting just about every decade, Congress has to act to ensure the independence of Stars and Stripes so that it will serve our military personnel. It's over. It's gone. You know, I said this about the leadership in our military. They're getting rid of the competent people. They're getting rid of the people that don't just say yes. They're getting rid of all the people in the room that will say no. This is stupid. Don't do this. And replacing them with people like Captain William Urban, who, by the way, in his letter, his introductory letter in which he announced that he's firing these people, called it the Department of War. Huge red flag. It is not the Department of War. It is the Department of Defense. Statutorily, it is still the Department of Defense. There are only a handful of people in our military leadership that do that call it the Department of War, because that is political idiocy. It's political theater. War fighters. This guy is one of them. It's a problem. It is a problem. You have to forgive me. Like I said, my next bit will be to solve Middle East peace, but in the meantime, I've solved my own. Come here. I know she's here. She's here. Yeah, I know. Kitty has decided she can coexist in the same room with Maya, so she is now. Sorry about that. I know those smooches are loud. She is now sitting in front of me, distracting me, not allowing me to read my monitor. Hey, if Pete Hegseth can bring his wife to work, I can bring my cat and my dog, okay? It just is what it is. But yeah, folks, I just want to be clear about this. Wherever they can, they're going to do this. Wherever they can bully control of the information, they're going to do it. They're not trying to fix the problems. They're never trying to be better. They're not. They're not trying to deal with the fact that they were inept. It's just like COVID, folks. It's just like COVID. They were inept when COVID happened, and one problem after another kept rearing its ugly head. And instead of dealing with the problems and saying, hey, this is a global pandemic, this is not something anybody's really done before, they destroyed the playbook on how to deal with it. So they had no idea how to deal with it. So we had PPE supply problems. We had, one thing after another. They attacked the messenger. They're still attacking Anthony Fauci today because this is what they do. They cannot fix the problems because they're too incompetent and too arrogant. They're sociopaths, so they cannot turn to anyone else as an expert. They do things like bring their wives to work. And nothing against wives. I think our government would be much better off if the wives were running the place. But if you're so weak that and so paranoid that you've got to have your wife in your office with you at the Pentagon, you're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong job. And this is where we're at, folks. Let me catch up with some of these comments before we move on. We've got to talk about what's going on with Canada. And to our Canadian brothers and sisters, I am sorry. I am sorry. It's not the most of us. It's not anywhere near all of us. This isn't the United States of America. This is some greedy, stupid sons of bitches that are in place because of some really stupid people. The majority of us don't want this. We don't. It's just on our side of the aisle, a lot of us were really stupid last election and stayed home. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I am working to fix that. Before we get to that, let's talk about these. Martha, thank you for supporting the show. I'm truly grateful. Marshall Cash, Trump is the biggest and sorriest president ever. Oh, hey, by the way, segue. I just received 2 of the coolest gifts I've ever received in my life. One of them, they both took a lot of skill and man hours. Neither of your letters or cards gave me permission to mention you by name. Send me an email, please, telling me I can mention who you are. And on Wednesday, I'm going to show you 2 of the coolest freaking gifts I've ever received in my life. They are so freaking cool, man. I am telling you. I can't imagine the number of man hours that went into these. But anyways, yeah, please reach out to me. Let me know it's okay to use your name. Kathleen Blaze, good morning. Thank you for being here. No, thank you. Thank you for being here. No, really, thank you. I'm not bragging. It's not being a braggart when I say I reach more people. Look, folks, the circulation of Stars and Stripes is like 30,000 now. That's one of our shows. Folks, I talk between 10 and 30 million people in a month on all of my platforms. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got 3,000 people in here for this one show live. That's Stars and Stripes would give its IT to be able to do something like that. We're really making a difference. We are really reaching people. And the way we do it is you hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. That'll boost us in the algorithm. We'll get this information out to more people. We will keep growing. We will keep growing. ET, YouTube playing games again. Second live. I had to refresh. I am so sorry. I'm sorry about that. Kyra loves Michael. Happy Sunday, Mr. and Mrs. Texas Paul. This is from Michael. He says, hey, give Michael a hug for us, man. I'm glad Michael's here. I'm glad to. Isn't that so cool that we've got couples watching the show together. I mean, isn't that freaking cool? Mo, I follow rail cams, seen many green khaki military trains, just saw 2 white military vehicle trains with Trump's threats to Greenland and Canada. Um, you know, I normally don't get too hyperbolic or too worried about that. You know what? Let me it's a great segue to something that I hadn't pulled up for this show. But, yeah, it's one of those things. I like to follow things that are going on, and I look at things that are going on in the background. I don't just wait for the headlines to come out. I try to stay ahead of that's why we'll talk about economic issues and things that are happening, and then you'll hear about it 2 days later or a week later on the mainstream media. They're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, this is a problem." It's looking into the background, um, uh, this happened. And when I saw it, I said, "Uh-oh." I did. I said, "Uh-oh." Trump and his kids have gotten into mining. They did. We talked about what's going on in Kazakhstan. That's what's driving what's going on in Greenland. Trump is desperately trying to be a sustainable, legitimate billionaire. And that's what his presidency is all about. That's what this whole Greenland thing is all about. Getting his hands on the rare earth minerals that are in Greenland. And the government in Greenland just issued mining permits to Canadian companies, not the Trump boys. Um, yeah, that just happened. This did not make the mainstream news. This Reuters put it out on the wire service, and it did not get picked up. This is not something that you're seeing, but you will. You will, in a matter of weeks. You will. If you want to know what's behind this trade war, we talked about the Gordie Howe Bridge before. This is a big freaking deal. And I'll explain why in a little bit. But when I saw that happen, I said, uh-oh. Oh, shit. Because this directly affects Trump's personal pocket. His kids have they've God, the gross out in the open corruption is just sick. Again, imagine if this was the Bidens. You had these MAGA idiots calling the Bidens the Biden crime family. Just because Hunter Biden did some consulting for a company, that this was actually his job. This is what he did. We have the Trump kids that had no shit about mining, that aren't involved in mining, are suddenly owning mining companies and getting contracts. And then we are, the Trump administration is taking our tax dollars and developing these mining operations on top of using our diplomacy to force these contracts. I mean, this is going to be tens of billions of dollars before we're done into the Trump family. What's going on in just Kazakhstan? They're trying to do, that's what's driving this Greenland shit. It's not about America. It's about Trump and his family getting his companies in to grab a hold of necessary materials for global manufacturing, to weasel themselves in like screwworms, parasitic screwworms, into the global economy. Essentially a Trump family tax on everything. And Greenland just gave the contracts to Canadian companies. That's going to be a problem. Not that it's wrong. It's not wrong. It's just business. But we know what Trump is, and we know what he's willing to do. This is, again, one of those background red flags that I'm watching that, yeah, we're going to have a future show where we talk about, remember when we talked about, yeah, that's happening. ET, not only all of the bear spray, but also the mask. Yeah. Yeah. They're talking about the Jake Lang people. Yeah. Yeah. Be aware. Be aware if you ever have an interaction with these people. I am of the opinion that the Mad King's removal through whatever means will be the midterms October. You keep saying that, brother. I keep telling you. They will weaken in Bernie's, that son of a bitch. They will. Silly Bebo, good to see you. Good morning, my cutest co-host ever. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all want to see her? Oh, she's dead asleep. Sorry. I'm not going to wake her up. Sorry. Carissa Martin, good to see you. Good to see you. Hello. Or is it Charisse or Carissa? Let me know. Let me know. Hello. Could it be cultivated meat? It's again, it's not additional meat. But again, I have no problem with lab meat. I really don't. I folks, come spend some time with cows. They're freaking nasty animals. They are nasty. They stink. They when they end up in feedlots, they end up standing in their own shit and piss. This is not something that is by any means clean before the meat gets to you. It's not. There's a reason you should wash your meat, and so it amazes me how many people don't do that. They're like, "What? Wash your meat?" Yes, wash your meat. Blows my mind that people don't do that. They're like, "Well, that doesn't make it's not pretty and red when I'm done washing it. It'll still cook up the same beautiful brown. I promise me. I promise you." New West Bill, how much worse is this going to make things? Beef prices will continue. This is not enough. This is just it's a drop in the bucket meat wise. It is hamburger, but the removal of the tariffs, again, it's not going to make a significant difference to you. But remember, Trump has ties to Argentina. Trump has ties to Brazil. You remember when they had the coup down there and all of a sudden all of these people in Trump's orbit were down there with Bolsonaro during the coup? Yeah, he has business ties in Brazil. There's going to be a show in the future when we start talking about the American beef market being decimated and yada, yada, yada. Not only is it going to be about JD Vance and his acre finders, that he's gotten together with the billionaire oligarchs and they're buying up farmland. You're going to hear about Trump's relationship to major beef companies. Brazil has some of the largest meat exporters in the world. That's what they do, folks. I mean, it's like Russia is a one-hit wonder. They're a gas station with an army. Brazil is a meat packing country. It's what they do. We're going to find out there's corruption behind it. Jeff Chastain, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you. Donna DeJoy, thank you for, I get it. The 300,000 tons of beef are coming to the U.S. on those boats stranded in the Persian Gulf. And again, just to be clear, if I wasn't clear enough about it, that's not 300,000 tons of additional meat. That is meat that was already coming to the United States. It's going to do nothing to supply the supply and demand problem. It's not. Gregory Brown, they might test the beef, but I don't trust the folks testing it. I hear you. And that is so true. That is so true. Dave Barone, can't stop thinking Reaganomics playbook all over again. Yeah, we are headed for another 80s, man. And ask anybody, the 80s were not good. ET, but didn't he do all those tariffs for them? Man, I am telling you, the levels of corruption, the number of layers on this onion are insane. Weird Idaho liberal. When did MAGA Pinocchio watching Trump's crap realize they were made of wood with their hands caught on fire? No shit, man. Talk about leopards eating faces. Netta Dahl, think the horse meat they had slaughtered abroad, that's coming instead. Something like that's happened before. I'm telling you, a lot of people, I understand why people think that. Oh man, my coffee's banging this morning. I hope yours is good. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. And I am not biased. If you're not having coffee, if you're having tea or whatever, hey man, I hope it's banging. William G. Atheist. Canada was the U.S. top beef supplier, past tense. Yes, we're going to talk about Canada here in just a second. Tube Kurt, looks like you opted for the Santa beard optics. Yeah, I keep flirting. I want to do it so bad. I do. I want to do it. I want to do it. I'm just trying to take a look. How you go through that ugly phase. How bad is it going to look? Is what I'm trying to get the feel. Et, I hate to say it, but we have never been as close to a massive mutiny as we are now. And in the past, that has been the impetus of military juntas. Yep, the military is in trouble, folks. It is. McBastich, as a former Cav scout, allow me to assure you that the old Bradley was a 21st century killing machine in the 20th century. Yeah. I'm telling you, we've got some badass weaponry. Sherry Ellison, when you don't know what you're talking about, top notch stupid is just business as usual. Amen. Chandra Patton, good to see you, Chandra. Captain Bone Spurs and the Wayback Machine. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Jan Rickenberg, U.S. announces new sanctions on top ICC figure war criminals must go free. Does anybody else have moments where you see something and you wonder, am I in a simulation? Is this really just like a bad simulation? Donna DeJoya, thank you for being so generous and gifting those memberships, Donna. Kim, HR Guru, keep hands off the wild horses. Hope rescue step up. No, look, man, they want to get rid of the land. They want to sell the land. They do. The buffalo are next. The buffalo are next. They're going to get away with this shit with the horses. The buffalo are next. They're going to use food. It's in the 2025 project, people. Cause food insecurity. Once you cause food insecurity, the people are pliable. And you can use providing food as your excuse to do anything. It's in they wrote it down. They said they were going to do this. The buffalo are next. The bison, they're next. They are. They want food prices high enough that they can sit there and say, bison is such great meat. Normally just the rich people could afford to buy bison. It's really expensive. We're going to make it to where it's accessible to you by culling all the herds on public lands. Bye bison. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. ET, controlling the organs of information is their deal. Yep. Allegra 16, did you know that since Trump took office, that the only TV channel allowed to be shown on all military bases is Fox News? Yeah. Darth Dragon the Guardian. Oh, good. Your pets are cuter. Anyway, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Jeremy Breeden, the admin's logic has always been, if you don't test, there won't be any cases. They apply this to more than COVID. Yeah. True. If you don't test, there's no illness, right? I mean, they used to say everybody died of consumption because they didn't know what the hell they were dying of because nobody knew what to test for. Cassie Lake, trust is lost. How can we Canadians partner with the U.S. when the GOP could come in again and upend any agreement? A plus is we stand on our own. Yeah, I'm about to talk about that very thing. Monica Mays, thank you for supporting the show. Thank you. Just a couple more. We're going to get back to work. Brad Michael, 1.75 hours interview with Hunter Biden on Valhalla VFT, a 20-year Green Beret. Nate. Yep. I would love to get Hunter Biden on this show. I really would. Reach out to him, people. Reach out to him. E.T., the Biden crime family was just too numb. Was just too numb to similar things involving themselves. Can you now say enough is enough? get involved, get active. I know what you meant there, ET. I do. Jordan B. Miller, the United States is looking like a terrorist state to the rest of the world. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. New West bill, they will ruin every company they touch. Yeah, I guarantee it. The Trump crime family, Gregory Brown, the crime family seems to be untouchable, open corruption, and no one seems able to stop it. There's so much that will need fixing. This is what it happened. This is what it looks like when you give Republicans power. So anybody telling you, don't vote for this Democrat, don't support that Democrat, don't this, block them. Just get them out of your life. Donna DeJoya, driving by that feedlot on I-40 just west of Amarillo is a real test of character. Whew. Whew. Let me tell you, between the clouds of ammonia and just the stench, it will turn you off of meat for a while. It will. Q Wilson gifted 5 Texas Paul members. Thank you. Thank you. Helen of Scots gifted 10 memberships. Thank you. How do you wash meat? Wendy Bauman asks. In the sink. In the sink. You turn the water on. I use my hand. Whether it's ribs, and you will know it too. If you've never washed your meat before, you're going to be shocked the first time you do it. There is a slime on the outside of your meat. When you wash it, you'll feel it go away. Yeah. Wash your damn meat, people. Jenny, 2025, old enough to remember, where's the beef? Maybe Trump and company think they could mine it in Greenland. I'm telling you, this is going to be a disaster. Randy Wright, a retired military here, sir. Stars and Stripes were taken down by the child sex trafficker. As well, he wants the U.S. Navy to falter because his Vlad dad told him to in Helsinki in 2017. I hear you, brother, and thanks for the big support. $50 is a lot of money. Very generous of you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, this guy's interests, he doesn't give a shit about America. He doesn't give a shit about his own voters. He doesn't give a shit about anything but putting money in Trump's pocket and having somebody there to tell him what a great guy he is, how smart he is. Give him the hug his daddy never gave him. Hey, Campbell, morning, Texas Paul. Hey, did those puppy razor teeth marks heal up? Look like your arms were in a blender and hit frappe. Yeah, they're getting better. They're getting better. They are. They are. She's actually learning to be more gentle. She is. ET, again, I don't allow her to chew on me. I got a lot of emails from people that were warning me, you can't do that. I'm like, I don't. This was me stopping her, not me allowing it. E.T., again, recreating the conditions of 1930. Veggie Owl Girl, cooked poultry to 165, ground meat to 160. Many things are on recall. Meat is no exception. Thank you. Great message for the community, Veggie Owl Girl. It is. Folks, trichinosis is real. I saw somebody the other day cooking a pork roast to medium rare. No, never. Now, look, I'm the world's worst. I would eat a steak and I'd knock the horns off of it and bring it back. I don't do that anymore. Prions, no. Mother Nature is going to kick you in the balls. Trichinosis is horrible. It is horrible. It's in pork. It is horrible. Cook your meat. Cook it all. No more medium rare. No more. I'm telling you, it's not because I'm old and want to put ketchup on my steak. I love a good medium rare steak. I really do. It's the way I like my, I'm making my mouth water thinking about it. Take a sip of coffee. I love a good medium rare steak, but I am telling you, as somebody that really cares about you, the inspections aren't there. Don't trust anything. Limit what you eat raw. Cook everything completely. I'm just telling you, right now, until we get our inspection regimes back, our testing regimes back, until, you know, don't do it. Thank you, Veggie Algro. That's a great message for everybody. And wash your damn meat, people. Somebody's going to do a super cut of that and put it on social media. Say I was saying something nasty. Paulette Tansel, here's a little something for Maya's treat jar. Glad she is a ride or die Democrat. She is, man. I can't wait. She's got this cute little. We went shopping and they didn't have a blue collar or a gold collar. I'm going to take one of these pins. I'm going to drill a tiny little hole in it. I'm going to go down to Michael's and get the little clasp so that I can put it on there. And I'm going to get her either a blue or a gold collar. And I'm going to, instead of having just tags, because she gets her final shots here in a couple of weeks, instead of just having tags, she's gonna wear a ride or die pin that I modify slightly. I'm gonna take the pin off the back of it and make it to where it's comfortable for her. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am. Thank you. Thank you. Very generous of you. Thank you. Blue Cat Dad, Gary, Indiana, is still without power since 8/11/26. Good God, people. This is really happening. This is really happening. This is where we are, folks. This is where we are. 9 days later. 9 days. This is a 16-hour long. Hate to bring up CBS, but it's a 16-hour-old story. And it's finally getting the media attention that it deserves. There have been people in Indiana without power for 9 days. Folks, that's the measure of your government. Indiana is a red state. The state has completely failed them. Completely. It cannot care for its people. It just can't. The government of Indiana should resign. But where's FEMA? That's what these people are. They're like, they're okay. These oligarchs, these Republicans are okay living in a third world country as long as their little section of it is nice. And they've got somebody to kill you if you try to come into their little nice section. That's really happening, folks. 9 days without power in America. Hermana Delphi, is it wrong to love any country that gives Trump the finger? He forces them to hurt us. I love my pack for you. Yeah, I hear you, man. I understand the sentiment. No, it's not being anti-American. This guy is hurting our country. He's hurting the world. It's okay to wish bad things on him. Joseph Martinez, vote Democrat so we can lock them up. Amen, brother. Amen. Just a couple more comments. We're going to get back to work. We want to talk about Canada. Dying Breed Garage. Hey, Texas Paul, you should have heard Senator Tim Scott spew lies on Meet the Press. 10 minutes of BS. He basically said Dems are the enemies, and the host let him. I know. And Tim Scott got so thrown under the bus. He was expecting a cushy government job in this administration and nothing. And yet he's still out there carrying the water for Trump. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. The mystery machine can't have any pudding unless you wash your meat. Oh my God. Pink Floyd in the house. E.T., The American Experience, had a great documentary about food. Yeah. There's a lot of information out there. Good information. Jordan B. Miller, I got my Pops toasted hazelnut coffee going. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I just saw a comment I want to talk about. This is in wait, no, that ain't it. There it is. Support local growers. There was a lot of people that responded. Like I said, we get on here. We're almost 3,200 people in here. Keep hitting the thumbs up button. Let's keep growing this. Let's keep going. That's a lot of people. It is. And 10 times that, 20 times that will watch this on replay. That's good reach. But I'm telling you folks, what I do on all of my platforms, I will talk to 10 to 30 million people a month, depending on the month, the news cycle. That's a lot of people. And I'm telling you folks, the the number of people that are out there that are responding, support local growers, is really freaking high. I need you to understand. I really need. We're going to talk about food a little bit more in the show when we talk about Canada in just a minute. We're about to get busy again, folks. It doesn't land well with. I'm trying. How do I say this? But you mean so well when you say that. Your heart is so in the right place. It really is. But what it tells me is you're not bottom 50%. And it's these people that like do Instagram channels that they're targeting folks that are stable. They're targeting people that are, kind of my demographic. We've kind of run our race for the most part. We're doing well for ourselves at the end of life, and because of good choices. And to tell me, hey, buy local. Cool, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I get your sentiment. But when you're telling somebody that's stretching food, trying to feed their family, don't eat that because it's processed and you're killing your kids. And that's what they have to buy. Yeah, that message doesn't land well. It really doesn't. There are folks that are making it on ramen noodles right now and telling them, hey, buy your beef local. I couldn't tell you the number of people that reached out and said, hey, go to your local farmer and buy beef. Folks, my son does that. That's one of his businesses. My MAGA son, I swear to God, he's MAGA just to fucking piss me off. My MAGA son does that. His beef is not cheap. It is not an option. It is not an option for 60, 70% of America. It's more expensive than what's in the stores. So yeah, just be mindful. Your message when you say that, I know it. I know what's in your heart. I know what's in your heart. I know the kindness and the caring that advice you're intending with that advice. I know what a good person you are. I do. I get it. Just be prepared when you get somebody that comes back at you that's try to understand them. Just try to understand, because I saw those interactions a little bit, because I've been there. I've been in pasta 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week, period of my life when I was younger. I understand both sides of it. I really do. And you mean so well. I know, man, I know the goodness in your heart. I know what you mean. But just be aware that's not an option to really fix this situation. Um, Always tell yourself 1.4 billion pounds of food a day. We have got to grow, produce, process, cook, package, deliver, prepare, and feed people. 1.4 billion pounds of food a day. And a lot of us, we got to eat chicken nuggets. We've got to eat pasta. That's where we are as a people. Always try to remember it's not just us. Anyways, I'll stop there. I'm sorry. Here we go, folks. Trump has started a stupid war with Canada. He has started a stupid war with Canada, a trade war that we cannot win. We cannot win. I believe it has a lot to do with those Greenland mining contracts because of the way things went down. Well, let me let Mark Carney kind of explain to you I got a couple of video clips of Mark Carney, but this one is where he addresses that Nutlick got added to the trade negotiations in the last week. And then after that, I'll explain what went wrong.
Last follow-up, Diakis.
Probably double barrel because it's the last one. But first, do you plan on? I know
I can't now. You
squeezing water out of a rock.
Tom tried that. It's
do you plan on reviving certain measures eliminated as what previous concessions, the digital services tax, the U.S. streaming payments for CanCon, for example, those measures? And why does it feel like today Mark Carney is going to war, trade war? The tone.
Because we're attacked. Like you're at war when you get attacked. We got attacked. U.S. put 50%. We waited until the United States decided to actually implement these so-called 338 tariffs. That's fine. We've got the reserves. We got the resilience. We've got the plan. We've got the focus. We will respond. We're going to focus on what we can control. We're going to build.
Wait for it. Just wait for it. Mark Carney, massive respect, sir. Massive respect. I know I'm American. I'm in the U.S. We are on opposite ends of this trade war, but it's not a trade war I want. It's not a trade war that I think is just. I think your position is actually the just one here. And I admire your leadership, my Canadian brothers and sisters. I am envious of you for having this kind of leadership. Let Mark Carney continue on.
Was Howard Lutnick's involvement in the last days an impediment to getting a deal?
It's a question for the U.S. administration. Ultimately, I'm responsible for the decisions of the Canadian government. We take it as a cabinet, but I certainly bear those responsibilities. And so the head of the U.S. administration, the president, bears responsibility for the decisions they take. But I will say this, which is that the Canadian team unified the individuals you see here, their team members, our ambassador in Washington, my chief of staff, unified, talking together, the clerk of the Privy Council, everyone in the loop, everyone knows what our objectives are, collective decision making. As I say, ultimately, I and the cabinet bear responsibility for those decisions, but unity. You cannot say that about the United States administration. And as a consequence, last point, and I'll go to your colleagues, because I think this is important. In these last few days, we were drilling down on specific issues that might have been papered over, the differences in the administration, if there were indeed differences. Ultimately, there's a decision maker at the top. And in drilling down on those, a number of those issues that I just referenced became very clear, and there was not a deal that we would sign. Thank you.
I'm going to play that again here in just a minute. I am just take it in for a second. People talking about our American audience. Just take it in for a second. Do you remember that kind of leadership? And folks, this is the exact same thing the Iranians said about negotiations. This is what happened. We were in trade negotiations with Canada. They were being handled by professionals on both sides. Then, in the last week, Howard Nutlick and his team were added to the negotiations. We had an outline. We had specific agreements that they were, again, as he said, they were just nailing down the details. And this is going to absolutely blow your mind when I tell you what the straw that broke the camel's back was. Mark Carney told his negotiating team to get up from the table, walk out of the room, go to your hotel, pack, and board a plane home. Do not continue any additional conversations. This is why. What Nuttlick brought to the table, among other idiotic things, was a demand that the Trump administration have veto power and control over any trade deals that Canada is to sign in the future. That we were going to dictate to Canada who they could and could not make trade deals with. I just want to harken back to a second to the delusional, kind of give you an idea of where the delusion that Trump holds about Canada comes from, how he refers to them as a state. He just made another insulting comment about Canada, saying that they want to act like a U.S. state, but don't want to own up to the responsibilities of a U.S. state. He just said that again yesterday. Just please let that soak in. Howard Nuttlick and the President of the United States, in the last moment, put in demands, and it all goes back to Greenland and the Trump family not getting their Trump tax on everything that comes out of Greenland. And it also goes to Canada making deals with China. Canada making deals. They just did an amazing aluminum deal with the EU. Canada is setting itself up under Mark Carney's leadership to have a beautiful future with these trade deals. But it is laying bare. It's just like with Iran, the delusion. We had free flow through the Strait of Hormuz. We had trade at a level that people didn't appreciate. Then we had this war with Iran, and Iran is coming out of this realizing they could have had a much better deal all along. They had more power than they realized they had. And I don't mean this in a condescending or negative way towards our Canadian friends at all. But this is exactly the same thing that is happening with Canada. Canada is going to come out of this with the understanding that all of the things that they were worried about losing were icing on the cake. And that what's at the heart of their trade deals with us, we cannot live without. The energy, the lumber, the minerals, the potash, all of those things the United States cannot function without. And what Canada is learning right now, and our Canadian brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, I know this is going to suck. It didn't have to be this way. It did not have to. And that's on us. That's on Trump and his greed and the idiocy of the people on our side that did not show up over shit. I mean, folks, our economy is collapsing, and I still have people lecturing me about Gaza. I mean, I care about the Palestinian people, but if it's the only thing in your life that you're paying attention to, you're no fucking help at all. What is going on with Canada right now is going to affect the world. Canada is going to come out of this just like Iran, much stronger than they went in. It's going to suck, my Canadian brothers and sisters. It is. That icing on the cake was delicious. It was. It was delicious. But that cake that's left, our Canadian brothers and sisters are going to come out of this knowing we have to have it. And that gives them negotiating strength that, I'll be honest with you, I don't think most of Canada understood they had before this. We cannot win this trade war with Canada because we know we need all of these goods. And the Trump administration knows it too, because these 50% tariffs that are all over the news media, that the news media is projecting as Trump is strong and, oh, he hit Canada hard, apply to 5% of the goods we import from Canada. That's it. Now, it sucks. That 5% is important. It is. To the level of income and just how good life is in general in Canada, that 5% is huge. It is. But it's only 5%. That's what the 50% tariffs apply to, just 5% of the goods that come out of it. And most of that is going to hurt American companies more than it hurts the Canadian companies, because we have to have it. Tariffing goods that you yourself must have is the textbook reason why every economist, including dumbass hillbillies such as myself, have been screaming that these tariffs are a terrible idea, because you're kicking your own companies in the balls. Case in point, we're going to tariff dairy coming out of Canada. Ask our friends in Wisconsin that make a huge amount of the cheese that we consume here in the United States of America, where they get their fucking milk from. How much of that comes across the border from Canada? We're kicking ourselves in the balls here. We're literally starting a trade war and telling the Canadians, you better watch the fuck out, or I'm going to punch myself in the face really goddamn hard. Watch. Paw. And Mark Carney's like, yeah, come home. Come home. This is stupid. This has gotten stupid. Come home. Folks, this is the worst possible time Trump could be doing this. It is the worst possible time Trump could be doing this. And let me explain. Stick with me. Yes, that's it. That's it. Come home. And again, I'm gonna play this for you one more time.
Was Howard Lutnick's involvement in the last days an impediment to getting a deal?
It's a question for the U.S. administration. Ultimately, I'm responsible for the decisions of the Canadian government. We take it as a cabinet, but I certainly bear those responsibilities.
That's a yes. And how fucking refreshing was it to have a leader that just said, I'm responsible for everything that happens here on our behalf. Not, it's Joe Biden's fault that Canada didn't want to, take our demands. How fucking refreshing was that to have a leader stand up and say, look, this buck is on me. I control what I can control. You want to ask questions about Nutlick? Ask the Americans because, they're responsible for them. That was fucking fantastic. But let me explain to you why this is the worst possible time for Trump to be doing this. Folks, yeah, this is happening in Canada. This is happening in Canada. This isn't a great time for our Canadian brothers and sisters. It's not. Their economy is slowing down. But folks, it's not just Canada. It's global. Retail sales in Great Britain have also fallen. U.S. retail sales, look, how long have I been telling you this was going to happen? How long have I been telling you this was going to happen? It doesn't matter what Wall Street says. It doesn't matter what the delusions are. It doesn't matter if they keep having IPOs where the stock valuations are completely detached from reality and there's no way that the company could possibly generate enough profits to justify the valuations. None of that matters. What I kept telling you is this is going to happen. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in the UK. It's happening all over the EU. It's happening in Asia. It's happening in China. It is happening everywhere. How long have I been telling you that that's going to happen? And I've got to tell you, folks, Wall Street still has no fucking clue. The media still has no fucking clue. Every one of these articles are going out of the media. Every one of these articles are primarily aimed at the investor class because, what does your average Joe Doe care about this article? They don't pay attention to things like this. But these articles are written with caveats in them to where the spin is, but don't worry. Don't worry. Let me give you a perfect example. All right. This is a test for you guys. What is the canary in the coal mine? What company seeing a slowdown is the ultimate indicator that our economy is fucked? And I'll give you one hint. Typically, when things start going south, this company will see a boost. But once their numbers go south, you are fucked. I love you people. I love you people so much. You nailed them right off. Walmart, Amazon, not Amazon. My bad. Not Amazon. Walmart and McDonald's. There it is. That's when I was looking. McDonald's. Those are the two canaries in the coal mine. The way it works is you pay attention to what they're doing. There's another that we're about to talk about here. You pay attention to what they're doing, how their bottom line is. When things start to go south and people start feeling pain, they will change their spending habits, and Walmart will see an uptick in sales and then everybody else is suffering, but Walmart is doing okay. That, folks, was 6 months ago. This is today. Walmart has announced now, and again, the detachment, Walmart has announced that they are fucked, that their sales are plummeting. This is summertime, people. This is back to school summertime. And Walmart is announcing, shit, we're not selling shit. We're in trouble. We're at that point in the cycle. McDonald's famously made that announcement 2 months ago. 2 months ago, McDonald's was like, this doesn't look good. Folks, understand where you are in the cycle. When Walmart, and again, the detachment of the media and the detachment of Wall Street from this is mind-blowing, because that article I just showed you about Walmart was actually part of an article that was talking about how great Walmart is doing. It's okay because their numbers look good. Their profit looks good because they got massive tariff refunds. So it's okay. It's okay. That tells you the mindset of the media that's writing these articles. Their mindset is, how's the stock? Not how's the company? How are the customers? How are the employees? It's how's the stock? Because the gist of that article was, oh my God, Walmart's doing fine. They just got a huge tariff rebate. Their numbers look good. When Walmart themselves is telling you, oh man, we're fucked. We're not selling shit. Here's another one that's counterintuitive. It is counterintuitive. The people that watch the same red flags I do are telling you, don't worry, man. Campbell's soup sales haven't taken off. No, that's not what these numbers say. That's not what these numbers say. Another canary in the coal mine is Campbell's soup. When shit is really bad, Campbell's soup will take off. People will run home to mama. The stuff they ate as a child, the cheap meals that they can put on the table, is a massive real world indicator that we're in trouble. You've got people that are really dumb on the internet and really dumb in our media that are pointing out that Campbell's sales have fallen. It's not the soup. Those sales have consistently risen over the last year. It's the snacks. See, Campbell's, there's been a lot of chicanery with with Campbell's. They've bought into a lot of different brands. Many of them are snack brands. Well, those aren't selling because people don't have the money. That's one of the red flag indicators. Snacks go in the shitter, soup takes off on a rocket. And that's exactly what's happened inside Campbell's and Progresso and just about every other soup manufacturer out there. If you go to the grocery rags, if you go to the industry sources, they're telling you, oh yeah, make shelf space for soup. People are buying soup. You know, folks, I don't know how many times we got to have this conversation where I will tell you, look what's going on with bonds. Bonds are going insane. It's going to make interest rates higher. It's going to spur inflation. It's going to also choke the economy. But because those interest rates go up, it's going to choke the economy. Prices are going to have to come down temporarily because these companies have to move merchandise. So they're going to slash all their profits. The next part of that cycle is these companies start reporting that their profits are falling. At a time of hyperinflation, when everything's more expensive, companies will start reporting our profit margins are falling because they're having to slash their margins even though their input costs are higher. There's going to be an initial boost from the inflation, but then companies will start reporting that profits are falling. And this is where we are in the cycle. Right now, everybody on Wall Street is detached from fucking reality because U.S. corporate profits are surging. Well, they're surging because of inflation. They're surging because you're paying more for energy. They're surging because you're paying more for every product that you buy. The second part of that cycle is you no longer have money to buy those products. And those are the news articles that I'm watching for. That's where I'm at. When I say I watch for the red flags, watch for the canaries in the coal mine to start dying. Soup sales are up. Walmart's reporting, lower sales. Again, I cannot stress enough. Walmart reported falling sales at back to school time. That's real. What the fuck is going on with the Dow Jones and the S&P and AI and all of this other bullshit is not real. It's companies buying each other's stock and loaning each other money. It's not real business. Everybody that's out in the world that I have talked to, everybody that is out in the world that I have talked to, it does not matter the segment, have all said the same thing. Man, this summer sucked. This summer sucked. Well, we'll get through it. We always do. I'm telling you, folks. I am telling you. We're strapped to a track. This is coming. This is happening. We've seen home sales stop. Just abruptly stop. Retail sales, when they should be higher, plummeted. You've got Trump stripping away tariffs, trying desperately to bring food prices down. Folks, I'm just talking about food and gas. I'm not talking about vacations. I'm not talking about, new clothes. I'm not talking about any of that, man. I'm not talking about going out and buying new guitars. Shit, I bought a used guitar at a great price. That's the only money I spent. I'm hoarding it like you. Like you. I feel it. I feel it. But what are the oligarchs doing? What is the investment class doing? They're buying gold. They're buying crypto. They're doing everything they can to dive inside their bunkers before the crash happens. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I know, look, we don't fearmonger here. We don't. Here's the bottom line. You're going to make it. You're going to survive this. You are. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is a buyer's market to the extreme. If you're looking to buy a guitar or anything entertainment related or anything like that, my advice to you, wait. Wait. Just watch what is going on. Keep track of what's for sale. Things like if you were planning on getting into woodworking or anything like that, just wait and watch. The used stuff that is for sale out there. If you ever wanted a really cool motorcycle or a really cool car, wait. Like a hot rod, anything that's a splurge, anything that isn't required for people to have for them to live their lives. Yeah, those markets have gone south. They have gone south, way south. So yeah, it is a buyer's market for splurgy items. If you got splurgy item money, there are some great deals to be had out there. There are. But my advice, wait. Wait. You're going to see companies this Labor Day. This is what I'm waiting for, folks. This is what I'll tell you my plans up front. As far as this show and my economic messages, watch the Labor Day sales. I thoroughly expect companies to be selling at a loss this Labor Day. The sales will be so deep that they'll be selling at a loss. Yeah. They will be. So yeah, just please keep in mind, you're going to survive this. You are. We always do. Is it going to suck? Yeah. Our Canadian brothers and sisters, I am so sorry this is happening, but we're going to make it through this. We are. The times they are changing. I think people are waking up. I think people are waking up. I do. But it's going to suck. It is. It's not going to be fun. My advice, buy a deck of cards, spend some time with the family, put dry goods in your pantry if you can. Do what you can. We always get through this. People say, what do I do with my 401k? I can't answer that question for you. Don't take investment advice from some guy on the fucking internet. Don't do it. I can't know your personal situation. When do you plan to retire and lock in that 401k, roll it over into an investment? I don't know any of that information. If you're a 401k investor, that's a long-term investment. You don't ride the dips and the peaks and valleys. You don't do that with a 401k. That is a Warren Buffett type of investment. You're in it for the long haul. You will survive this with your 401k. As long as your leadership, the people that are doing the investing, as long as the people that are doing the investing at your 401k aren't complete fucking idiots and they're investing for the long term, you will survive this, and so will your 401k. Where we have to be alarmed is political leadership. Anytime there is pain, anytime there is distress, anytime that the people that aren't bright start feeling discomfort, there's a Republican out there waiting to sell the same exact shit. It's brown people, it's people you hate are doing this. Take the 2008 real estate collapse. What did they do? They blame black people. You forced us to give risky loans to black people. They literally came out and said that. I'm talking about corporations came out and said that shit when it was a complete lie. You will always have Republicans and the broligarchs that have a pre-programmed message that it wasn't us. We didn't do this, even though we're the ones that run the economy. We didn't do this. It is immigrants. That's right. That's right, Cletus. The immigrants took your cookie. Then the Democrats will win elections. They will take power. They will do what's necessary to fix it. It won't feel good. It won't be fun. It won't be sexy. And you're going to have Republicans that will sit there and say, we could have done better. We would have done better. Even though they're the ones that wrecked the fucking boat in the first place, they will tell you, oh, we would have put twin turbocharged diesel jet engines in our boat, and we would have all made so much more money if you would have just trusted us. Look at how boring this is. And the Democrats are failing. And they're fixing your shit. As always, the same way they do it every time, by sticking to reality. Folks, it's going to come. It's up to you to be ahead of that messaging. Do not let them blame you. Do not let them say it's entitlements. No, you're entitled to it because you paid for it. It's entitlements. You've got to take less. No. You've got to pay more, Mr. Billionaire. You've had decades of policy, tax policy, public policy, everything that has shoved money into your pockets. Your wealth has increased exponentially. The average American's wealth has been stagnant. We're not the hole in the bucket. You are. You are. Never let that go. Well, folks, that's what I've got for you today. Is there anything we got a few minutes left. We can roundtable this. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Is there anything that I haven't covered? Anything that you'd like me to touch on over the last few days? Throw it out there. I'm going to take a big sip of coffee. I'm going to wait for the broadcast to catch up so I can read some of the comments. And I'm actually 30 seconds to a minute ahead of you, believe it or not. Something that these words that I just said left my mouth 30 seconds to a minute ago. It's got to go through the whole system before you see it. Then you've got to respond. And yeah. All right. I see it. You want to see Maya? Hold on. She's right here. Oh, that's my baby girl getting so big. She's no longer that cute little puppy stage. She's entering that awkward puppy stage. Show him the big ears, Maya. Don't pin you. Oh, okay. I love you too. Say hi to everybody. Don't look sad. Show him your happy face. Show him your happy face. Yeah. We had the shit scared out of us yesterday, didn't we? It was scary. Maya always acts like she's 800 pounds and bulletproof. She's a tough guy. When the deer or anybody comes around, she stands up and she barks at them, and she gets between me and them, whether it be, the squirrel cabal or the kitties or the deer or whatever. Well, last night we went out and, oh, by the way, good news too, on the potty front, she's making huge bounds on potty training. She leaps and bounds. She's progressing. Turns out my old man bladder and her puppy bladder. Oh, that's my sweetie. My old man bladder and her puppy bladder have fallen into sync. So yeah, a lot of country peeing going on. We end up going out on the same schedule. That's my girl. But last night we went out very late. It was about 11 o'clock to go potty. She had to go. She barks now when she's got to go potty. Yeah, huge advancement. She's actually communicating, I got to go. Look how big she's getting too. I'm going to hold you up, Maya. I want you to show 'em what a big girl you are becoming. She's curled up in a ball right now. She doesn't look that big, but she is getting to be a big girl. Yeah. So we walked out to go potty, and right by our pond, which y'all know if y'all watch my videos, know is not that far from my house. Okay, girl, I'll put you down. It is not that far from my house. It's about a football field away. Whole pack of coyotes start howling. First one, then another, then another. I take off running to get Maya because I don't want her to, I'm thinking she's going to try to do her super dog routine and, get suckered into, charging out there and growling at them, and they would snatch her up before I could get a hold. You know what I mean? Whew, I was in panic. I'm running for her. She zips around me, man. She no tough guy routine at all. She beat me to the back door, man. She's like, I don't know what that shit is, but we're not messing with it. No, open the door, open the door, open the door. Normally, she loves outside. I have to beg her to come inside. It doesn't matter how late it is. It doesn't matter. She loves outside. I opened up that door. She hit the door. I turned the knob. You've seen this before. Y'all have seen this before with Doug. She did. I turned the knob. I get the door cracked open maybe half an inch. She hit that door. Boom. That door was open, man. She's like, no, sir. No, sir. We are not doing that. Oh, man. I tell you what, it scared the living piss out of me. It did. I was like, oh, man. Yeah. That was scary. That was scary. But is there anything y'all want me to cover? Anything you want to, anything in the news, anything related, anything like that? That's my good girl. That's my good girl. She's getting dark too. She is. She's losing that light colored puppy buff, and all the hair that's coming in is much darker. Her little back, she's got a black streak now along her back. She's gonna be they call them blanket backs. Y'all have seen this before. When you think of like a German Shepherd or a Malinois or something like that, they'll be sable colored or they'll be buff colored or whatever, and then their back will be really dark. She's gonna have that a lot. She's gonna have that a lot. It's coming in. Michael Cohen. Look, I want to give you a little inside baseball about Midas Touch. Y'all know that me and the Midas Touch were super tight. We really were. We were doing a lot of work together. And then that stopped. And it was nothing that Midas Touch did or I did that wasn't hard feelings. It wasn't anything like that. It was me. I love those guys to death. I really love those guys to death. I do. They're doing great work. I cannot rave about them enough. But I will tell you something I have not even told them. Michael Cohen was the end of our relationship. It was. It's why we went different directions. That's it. It's not the end of our relationship. I love those guys. They're doing great freaking work. Michael Cohen was the reason that we do not work together. No fucking buddy that comes from Trump's inner orbit should be trusted for any reason. And I would not have my face and my name tied together with that motherfucker ever. And look, he's out there sucking Trump balls right now. But yeah, that is on my end what caused me to not work with Midas the way I was. And I will work with them in the future. I think the work they're doing is fucking amazing. I cannot stress enough. I love those guys. I really do. And they're bringing great people on board, man. Fantastic. Katie Fang working with Midas. Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. You know, I mean, just they've really stepped it up, and I'm glad to see that you know they woke up and they got, you know, Michael Cohen was gone. You know, I'm glad to see it, but I would not have Jessica Denison's another one. You know, I would not do a show with her. I would not. No, I did not like that. I did not. I did not. I would not. I would not have my face, my associated, my reputation associated with that. I just would not. I get why they did it. I understand. And they're doing amazing shit. I tell them I tell them every time I talk to them, you guys are going to be fucking huge. You are. You're going to be, I'm talking billionaire corporate news media, huge. They are. They are. Love those guys so much. The work ethic is insane. They work my ass into the dirt. I am not kidding. But yeah, it was Michael Cohen. It was Michael Cohen. That was the straw right there. I could not do that. And yeah, love Allison Gill. Love. If you don't know who Allison Gill is, her social media is under Mueller, she wrote. I met Allison Gill at the White House. She is the most friendly, down to earth, one of those people that just knows her shit backwards and forward. Yeah, she's fantastic. She is fantastic. She is fantastic. Estrella, I love what you're saying. Is it Estrella or Estrella? You got to tell me. Midas touching most public face is separation with Cohen, etc. I respectfully, I would disagree with you a little bit there. I would. I think they're doing it the exact right thing. He's gone away. New chapter. Move on. Move on. Don't dwell on it. Don't. He's just gone. That is they had a segment in the show when they broke. Yeah. A lot of people love Jessica. I do not trust her. I do not. No one that came out of Trump's inner orbit shares my moral character or fiber. That we are on a different plane. Yeah. Oh yeah. Love Fanon. Love Fanon. Love that guy. He's on Substack. Aaron Parnas. He's another one that I've had the pleasure of really meeting, sitting down, having conversation with. Aaron Parnas is fantastic. He really is. Super sharp guy. Super smart. Super smart. Estrella. There you go. Thank you. Anything else you want to touch on? Inside baseball, shoe size. I do like Malcolm Nance a lot. I do. I like Malcolm Nance a lot. I really do. I really do. I'm a little hesitant. To me, some of his theories, and some have panned out to be totally true. Fantastic. I love the work he's done. Some of them have been crazy out there. I just found out about this. Banana ball. Just found out about this. Laura, not a cat. I'm going to pause the political stuff. Let me finish with Malcolm Nance. I want to come back to banana ball. Love Malcolm Nance. I really do. I haven't signed on to everything that he said or done. I haven't. And Popak is another one. Michael Popak is another one I really like. I really do. Both of them. Titus has been on my show, and I've been on Titus's show a couple times too. He's been on my show. But yeah, I'll throw an invitation out. I love Titus, man. That guy is, not only is he funny, he is so damn well informed. I mean, I am telling you, both he and his wife, Rachel, are two of the smartest. I mean, they always tell you, be the dumbest person in the room. Yeah, they make it easy. They make it easy. But banana ball. Oh my freaking God. I was so mad at you people. I was furious, man. Let me tell you why I was mad. And I mean you, the community. Let me tell you, I hate baseball. I hated playing baseball. I do not like to stand out in a field with my thumb up my ass. I don't. I like football. I like, hey, in a few seconds, we're gonna get it on. You know what I mean? Baseball is like it's like watching paint dry. It's like watching paint. It's like watching golf. I cannot do baseball. I can't. I'm sitting down eating a hamburger with Mrs. Texas Paul in a little restaurant here in Longview called Juicy's. By the way, if you're ever in Longview, Texas, I don't know the politics of the people that run Juicy's. I don't think they tell anybody their politics. I don't. But fucking hamburgers? Oh my God, dude. Best hamburger you ever have in your life. I'm telling you. Juicy's. They've got screens up playing different things. All of a sudden, I see this guy come up to bat. I'm thinking it's baseball, so I'm ignoring it. I see this guy come up to bat wearing a cape. He was wearing a cape. I was like, what is this? And I started watching. I noticed that the team had the sleeves cut off on their jerseys, their baseball jerseys. They were sleeveless. And then I noticed their faces were painted all kinds of. I was like, what is this? And I started watching. I was gone for 30 minutes and my wife is pissed. I mean, pissed. Mrs. Texas Paul is like, where the, I'm like, you could turn around and watch this. And we're sitting there eating our dinner, watching Banana Ball. I am telling you, if you have never watched this, it's like pro wrestling met baseball. It is. Pro wrestling met baseball. I would like to make a suggestion that they adhere a little bit more to the rules and make it more real, like competitive baseball, because it got a little too exhibition-y for me. But oh my God, that was fun. That was fun. If you've never watched, let me see if I can pull something up. I didn't know this existed. I was so pissed off that y'all didn't tell me about this. I was like, what the hell, man? Why didn't y'all tell me about this? It's like when I found chimichurri. What the hell y'all didn't tell me about chimichurri? Come on, man. You got to tell me about this stuff. It's like when y'all tell me about great coffee brands. I'm so grateful, I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Look at this. This is a baseball game with pyrotechnics. This is the best. This is the best ever. Look at this team. Now I can watch this baseball. I can watch this. Oh my God. The umpire did a backflip. There was the pitcher threw a strike and the umpire went strike, boom, and did a backflip. It's great. If you've never watched Banana Ball, I'm telling you, we're going to get through this, folks. We're going to get through all this negative stuff about the economy and all that other stuff. We're going to get through this. In the meantime, watch you some Banana Ball. I'm serious. It is pro wrestling meets baseball. It is. It is hilarious. It is fun to watch. Again, my suggestion, keep it a little bit tighter to the rules and make it a real competition for the long term. You know what I mean? Exactly. Right now, it is that. It's the Globetrotters of baseball is what it is right now. My suggestion is make it a little bit more and you will compete with Major League Baseball. You will. There's so many people out there that like baseball as a sport, but are bored to death with it. So anyway, yeah, great way of putting it. I love you people. So I'd never even thought about it. Yeah, exactly. It's the Harlem Globetrotters meet baseball. It is fantastic. All right, back to politics. Can Hallie Schaffner beat Tom Cotton in Arkansas? I will not say no. The hesitation you hear in my voice is I live in the Arklatex. That's the part of Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas portion of East Texas. And I know what the fuck Arkansas is. Does not fill me with faith that you will get these people to not be bigots. Can she win? Yes. Will it be an uphill fight? Yes. Is this the best year ever to wage that fight? Also, yes. If it's ever going to change, it will change this year. So let me answer your question. Can she win? Yes, she can. She can. Will it take a Herculean effort on our part? Also, yes. It will not be easy. It will not be easy. We will have to make sure that the stars align to make it happen. It's not like Texas. Texas is in a very different place. I'm telling you, Texas is in a very different place. The Republicans are in panic mode, huge panic mode. They are. Well, folks, we've gone a little bit long. I know my banana ball rant was over the top, but I swear to God, I fell in love with that immediately the first time I saw it. Herculean, thank you. Herculean. Thanks. I appreciate you so much. She sends me emails, by the way. I want to remind that, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I want to give them credit. I want to give them credit by name. So if you want credit for this publicly in the group, call it out in chat. But I want to show you these two things. These are, sit tight. I'm going to run out and I'm going to run right back. Stay. All right, I'm back. I admire craftsmanship. I admire skill. I've gotten into woodworking and things like that, and I've told you, one of the things that I had considered getting into was stained glass. And I got to tell you, I love the stuff. I just absolutely love the stuff. I do. And it's something that you can learn to do. It takes work. I need you to let me know if it's okay for me to call you out. I appreciate it. 1 second. But I will just say that this is from Jam. Check this out. Is that not freaking cool? Is that not freaking cool? That is one of the most amazing gifts I have ever gotten in my life. Is that not freaking cool? I cannot wait to hang that in my window. It's a little heavy, so I've got to go find the suction cups that can hold the weight. But that is so freaking cool, isn't it? What I may do instead of suction cups is get some chain and some hooks and put it in the top of the window sill and then hang it down in front of the window. Isn't that freaking cool though? Isn't that just amazing? Jan, if you want credit, chime in the chat and I'll be glad to call it out for you. She makes stained glass. She sent me a wonderful card. But yeah, she sent me a wonderful card. I'm gonna cover your last name, Janet. I didn't, but actually it is very touching. Very touching. Beautiful. This next thing also just floored me. This was incredible. This just incredible. Just incredible. The amount of man hours that must have gone into this is just mind blowing. Mind blowing. But this is one of the coolest things I have ever seen, much less ever. Jen, again, if you want credit, I will be glad to call you out. She does this. This is something that she does. She's got an Etsy store. She does this. I will be more than happy to promote it. This is the coolest thing one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I want you, when I show you this, I want you to think about the number of man hours that went into these things. This is just incredible. But watch, take a look at this. You know what? Let me back up. Think about the number of man hours. Think about the number of man hours that this took. Oh my God, this is incredible. Isn't that just incredible? And look how big it is. Holy shnikes, Jen. If you're not in the audience, it's crocheted. If you're not in the, I know it's incredible. Look how tight that is. Look how tight that is. My God, that's incredible. Incredible. I was so floored when I took it. She packaged it up in a vacuum, one of the vacuum pouches when she sent it to me. And oh my God, it smells great. Hold on. I don't know what this pine scent is, but it's incredible. I wish this was smell-o-vision and you could see it, but I was just floored. I was like, no way. No, I think about the number of man hours and just the amount of skill that took to line all that up. That is incredible. Incredible. I was completely floored. Jen, if you're not in the live audience to claim credit, what I want you to do is I want you to send me an email that says yes. And I did. I got your email and confirmed that I want to confirm. Yeah, I got your package. I did. But if you don't mind me sharing, I will gladly tell everybody about your Etsy store. That is incredible. That is incredible. And yeah, again, I was floored. I love stained glass so much. I do. But yeah, two amazing women in our audience doing amazing things. And that's the thing, folks. When I say we're going to get through this, Jan and Jen, we're going to get through this. We are. Is it going to suck? Yeah, it's going to suck. But we're going to just keep on being us, man. This is the kind of people that we are in our group. This is the kind of people that we are. So yeah, we are going to, work hours, not man hours. Sorry, my bad. We all have improvements to make. I'm reading your comments, but we're going to get through this, man. We are. We're going to elect decent people again. A lot of people have woken up. We're going to do the work. We're going to do what's necessary, but we're not going to let them rob us of this. We're not going to let them rob us of who we are. We're just not. We're just not. This is who we are. You know, on top of what I do here, I've got my woodworking shop out there. I'm developing my skills. I'm learning. I will continue to rock on. I got Maya here. I've got the cats. We're all good, man. We're all good. We are. We're not like those MAGA pieces of shit that are miserable. We're not. They're all miserable pieces of shit. We're going to be okay. We're okay as a community. They're the ones that require all of us to survive. So yeah, it is what it is, my friends. It is what it is. Please send me an email, Jen. I want to call this out. But again, if you don't explicitly say it in the letter, I won't do it, because I've actually, there was somebody that was a very private person that's always that supported the show, that I called out a thank you, and they're like, do not ever mention my name. I do what I do for, to do the right thing and to help people out. Don't mention my name. I'm a very private person. So yeah, I always require that you specifically say the words to me. Hey, call this out. It's okay. Mention my name specifically. Okay. All right. Well, I love you folks. That's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. I've got some family coming over this afternoon. My granddaughter hasn't seen Maya since she was a tiny little petite puppy. She's going to freak out. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. On that, enjoy some Texas cities at night.